guys, so this is the fabric that I'll be using. It's like a silvery grayish sequin shiny material, and I got this off of Amazon.com. I'll leave a link in the description bar below so you guys could make a purchase if you want. I picked up 30 yards because I wanted to make long flowy curtains for my window. So I've already went ahead and pre-cut the curtains that I wanted, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I do that. I'm not gonna show you how I cut it, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I measured it out. So you want to have your fabric here. I just have one piece from what I already pre-cut, and you want to make sure you have a tape measure. It's an inch measure, and it starts from 1 and it goes all the way down to 60. So what I did to make this easier for me to measure, instead of going all over with my tape measure on the fabric, I went ahead and placed the fabric on my table. And before I placed the fabric on my table, I used my tape measure and I measured my table because I wanted it to be like 90 inches. So I measured from this end like so. Hope you guys can see. I measured from one end to the other and I got 30 inches. So that was perfect for me because I wanted 90 inches. So I just went ahead and laid the fabric out on the table 3 times, and then I just cut right there. The good thing about this fabric is it has, like at the edge right here, it's like already made for you not to have to cut it. So that's a plus. So after you measure your table, you don't have to do 90 inches. It's up to you based on the height of your window. But I like really long flowy curtains. So I like when my curtains are all the way down to the floor. So you just want to place your fabric on your table like so. And you want to bring it to the edge. And you want to bring the other end all the way down to the edge. And that's where you have 30 inches. So after you have that, you just want to make sure you have a mark here. And you just want to push your fabric up, and now you want to put your end point, your previous end point, to the starting point, and then you're going to measure another 30 and you have 60 inches right there. And then you're going to do the same thing that I just did. Put your end point to your starting point. You want to make sure your fabric is even because you don't want to have a slanted cut. So now you have another 30 right here, and that's how I got 90. And you want to take in consideration that you need allowance to make your hem. So you want to just give yourself maybe an extra 5 inches. And yeah, that's how I made the cut. So as you can see, I have one piece here and I had 30 yards. So I think I got about 4 or 5, I think maybe 4 full curtains and maybe one that's a little smaller. So I already went ahead and pre-cut all that I had, and the smaller piece that's left over, I think I'm gonna do a DIY on how to make some pillow covers with the same fabric. So stay tuned for that video. Now we're gonna go in the segment where I show you guys how to actually stitch your curtains. So you're gonna need a sewing machine, and I'm gonna show you the one that I'm using in a little while, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to stitch your curtains. Okay guys, so this is the sewing machine that I'm using. It's a Brother brand and I got it from Walmart. It was like $70 or so. It's nothing major, it's just a regular sewing machine. So you want to make sure you have your machine threaded. I already have mine threaded. Don't pay the color of my thread no mind, guys. That's what I had, so that's what I'm using. I think it will be fine. So getting ready to stitch your curtains, you're gonna want to measure 3 inches off like so, because that's the area that you're gonna use to make your stitches, so you can put your curtain rods through. So what we're doing here is we're gonna take some, we call these pins, I don't know what you guys call them, but it's called common pins, and you're gonna just use that to guide you, and you're just gonna go ahead and pin everything down so you can have a nice straight even pinning. So go ahead and measure the other end, 3 inches, and then you're gonna go ahead and fold that over. Too far. So after you have measured your 3 inches off, you're gonna go ahead and use your pins, and you pin the 2 ends down. You could also add pins in the center if you want, just to make sure you're on the safe side. So go ahead and keep measuring all the way down through the center, just to make sure you have 3 inches all the way across. You want to add pins as you go along. And this is what you want to have. So now you're ready to go ahead and do your stitches. Okay, so now what we're gonna be doing is a double stitch. I'll show you guys why I do a double stitch after everything is done. I just like when I have my double stitch because it makes my curtains look better, in my opinion. So you want to go ahead and put your fabric underneath your machine. You want to make sure you drop the lever down. You want to select your stitch that you're going to be using, which is going to be the basic stitch. And then you're going to just start stitching all the way to the end. So if you guys notice, for this first stitch, it's like an inch away from the top, or maybe a half an inch, because that's not the stitch that your rod is going to go through. That's just for the curtains to be a little fluffier and look nicer. So that's why I say we're going to be doing the double stitch for this. So now that you're done stitching towards the end, you want to go ahead and cut your thread off. And you want to make a knot at the end, so as to make sure your stitch don't come loose. It's not going to really come loose, but just for extra security, go ahead and make a knot. And then after you make a knot, you're going to go ahead and cut the excess thread off. So now that you're done with your first stitch, you want to go ahead and make your second stitch. You want to bear in mind, guys, that this is the part that you're going to be putting your rod through. So you want to make this area a little wider than you did the first stitch, because it's going to go in between. You'll see when we're done. So you want to put that under your machine, eyeball your measurement, and you want to go ahead and start stitching just like we did before. that we're done with that, I'm gonna show you guys how it looks on the curtain rod, just for you guys to see what I mean when I say double stitch. Okay guys, so now that your curtain is done stitching at the top, I'm gonna show you guys how it looks with the double stitch. I have my curtain rod here, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert it in the stitch and show you guys what it looks like. So you want to open one end. I'm sure you guys know how to put a curtain on a curtain rod. And I'm gonna pull it all the way through. And you see that right there? You see this little like skirting looking ruffles at the top? This is what I mean when I say double stitch. To me, my curtains just look better when I have this little ruffled area at the top. So this is what I have so far. I'm gonna show you guys it hanging when we're completely done. But so far, this is what it looks like. So this is the finished product, guys, and that's how they look.